In this week's Photoshop design tutorial, I'll teach you how to design a Facebook cover in Photoshop. Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new Photoshop design tutorial. My name is Manny and you can find me over at rizapro.com, the channel where you get to learn everything about Photoshop design in weekly quick tutorials. In this week's Photoshop design tutorial, I'll show you how to design a Facebook cover in Photoshop. Again, we're going to work first of all with creating the canvas size, then we'll add some elements and also refine those a bit and add some text on top. So obviously you can customize that to your own need. But again, we've only customized it towards our latest Pro product, which just launched on the website. So again, we've worked with only a few elements in order to create this. Again, enough of the talking, let's get right away into the tutorial. Okay, so over in Photoshop, in our right-hand side here in the layers palette, you guys get to see already the finished result. So again, here's the before and after. Again, that's what's coming up, how to create the Facebook cover. Now, let's get right away into this. First of all, we need to create a canvas. Now for that, let's head all the way over to File. We're going to go to New and create right away a new canvas. Over here, I'm going to write Facebook cover. You can obviously rename it to whatever you want. I'm going to keep this to Facebook cover. Then document type, please select custom right at the bottom. And now for width, very important, it's 851. And for height, it needs to be 315. Great, resolution, you can keep that to 72 dpi, so it's nice and low res for Facebook cover. Or if you want to, you can also try 240 to 300 dpi, so it's nice and high quality, but Facebook will obviously scale that down a little bit. So I'm going to stick right away with 72 dpi. Then color code, RGB color, that's all right. Then also background contents here should be white for me. And then obviously your color profiles. If you want to learn more about this, because you don't understand what we are talking about right now, then maybe you should check out our Photoshop for Beginners course on the website. Okay, let's hit OK, and right away we have a new canvas. Great. So if all of this is very unfamiliar to you and you don't know what you're doing in Photoshop, maybe have a look at our Photoshop for Beginners course again. All right, first of all, I will double tap here onto the background layer and just unlock that. First of all, that will just be my white background. So I'm going to rename that quickly. Okay, white background. Okay, great. Now, let's get started. First thing that I'll do is drag in my background image. So for this case now, it will be actually here my cover. So basically, again, let me zoom out a little bit. So basically the lady with a bit of yellow, that is my background. So let's drag that into Photoshop. I've got this image over here. I'll basically drag the image into Photoshop right away, and that will be in Photoshop now. Great. So then from Photoshop, I'll just take this layer over here, the background layer that's locked, and move that all the way over to my canvas here. Okay, drop it, and right away that image is in here. This image and canvas, we can escape again, press F, get back into the full screen mode, and with Z, I'm zooming out quite a lot because my new picture here is 10 times, almost 20 times bigger than the cover actually. So now I'm going to press Command T together. Again, I'm working with a Mac. If you're a Windows person, please press Control when I say Command. So right away, you guys can see how big this picture is. Hold Shift on the keyboard and select an anchor point. Now it's equally degrading here and getting smaller. So I can now obviously make it smaller. I will accept it. And first of all, with Z, zoom in a bit again. And right away, just make it a bit smaller as well. Press Command T again, and again select an anchor point, hold Shift on the keyboard, and let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, like so. I'm thinking I'm going to make it even more smaller. This obviously depends on your image as well, what type of image you want to add to your background. You need to scale it so that it fits and that it looks great in here. So I think I'm going to stick with this. Maybe I'm even going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, once you are ready and you've got that, hit Enter. Great. So I've got my picture in now. And first of all, what I need to do is still extend my background and fix the background a little bit. So I've got a little trick for that. Okay, so first of all, I'll copy a little piece here from the background. So again, for that, I'm going to go over to the toolbar and select the rectangular marking tool. Okay, let's make a nice big selection over here like so. And I'm basically going to copy now this area here with the selection from the original layer 1 image. So press Command C and Command V. Copy, paste. Great. So then layer 2 here, I'm going to press again Command T, and now I can transform it again. So this time I'm just literally going to the center point here and drag it all the way out so that my background now becomes a new yellow, but fits to the yellow that we currently have. Okay, accept that. And right away, you guys can see that moved over. Now, for the next step, I'll take this layer and move it underneath my layer 1. Okay, like so. Great. And now, let's press Z. We'll zoom in a bit more. Okay, also take the clone stamp tool with S on your keyboard and make it a bit smaller. I'm going to hold Alt and sample an area very close by and going to remove all of this here. Again, if you don't know what your brush size is currently set to, your clone stamp tool, hold or press Ctrl and Alt together, move left and right, and you can change the diameter obviously, and also the hardness. So please set the hardness to 0. You can also change the brush size via your bracketing keyboard shortcuts here. So again, opening and closing brackets to change the brush size. I'm working with the Wacom 5 Pro tablet, so I'm able to change it via my tablet really quickly. Okay, I'm gonna hold Alt now and sample again this area over here. So basically sampling all of this away and cloning this away. If you want to learn also more about cloning, healing and all of that stuff, maybe have a look again from this tutorial here. It also just launched on the website called Foxy Hipster, if you want to learn how to do that in Photoshop, and also obviously retouching and quite a lot of more stuff. Okay, so basically you guys can see I'm trying to fix this a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to the healing brush tool with J on the keyboard, making my brush a bit bigger. Hold Ctrl Alt again, also change the hardness back to 0% and make it a bit smaller though. Hold Alt, sample an area and just going to smudge a little bit of these yellow colors into each other. Great. Okay, but now you guys can see we still have this ugly line over here, basically this line here. It's very simple. We can actually remove that with a mask. So select layer number 1, create a mask from down here, and again select B on the keyboard. So you back into the brush, make your brush a bit smaller. Also have a look again at the hardness with Ctrl Alt. Mine should be set to 0. And then select the right foreground color with X here, switching back to black. Again, if you're not familiar how to work with masks, maybe have a look again at our Photoshop for Beginner course. I'm teaching there quite a lot how to work with that. So basically just erasing this with a bit of black here on the mask, as you can see. And now switching the foreground colors back to white. And I'm just brushing in a little bit again, switching a little bit more. And there we go. Now, right away, we have again a new background over here. Here's a little bit of a gap. Let's fix that actually. Okay, a little bit more like so. Okay, and fixing this a bit. Great. So now we have a solid background. So what I'm going to do now is make the master shortcut. Command, Alt, Shift, and E all together. So we have again a new layer here. So merged everything together. So that's now my fixed background. Great. So we can actually delete all of this again. So you're back to one standard layer. Now for the next technique that I want to do is create a bit of a, how would I say, a white halo over it and a white overlay that goes underneath, or actually underneath the text. So let's actually do that. I'm going to select P on the keyboard, go into the pen tool. I'm first of all going to put an anchor point over here and then over here. Now I'm also looking at this line. If I want this line to be even more skew, I can hold Command on the keyboard, again Control for Windows people, and I can now hold the command, select the anchor point and move this area a bit over. Okay, so I want to go a little bit closer here to the glasses with my first anchor point and the second one somewhere over here. Great, so that suits a bit more the image over here. Maybe let's drag this one down a bit more, like so. Great, select the last anchor point again, place another anchor point, another one, and complete the last anchor point here via clicking on the first one. Great, so now we have a path around here. I'm going to click right click and say make a selection. 0 feathering please for that, hit OK, and right away we can fill this up now with white. So press M for the marking tool, hit right click and go all the way to fill. Under fill, select the new color here. So under the contents, select white and hit OK. Great. So now we have a bit of a white layer on top. I'm now going to press Command D to get out of the selection. And first of all, going to take down the opacity of this. So again, take the opacity down a little bit. And that will be my first step again, just for editing here and having a bit of a white background underneath my text. Okay, so we can also rename this to white. There we go. And I actually forgot a little step that I still wanted to do in the background here. Let's select the rectangular marking tool again and make a nice big selection like so. And I'm going to add a gradient on this. So again, create another new layer. So we're not working on our background layer. I'm first of all going to choose my foreground colors now. So the first one, the foreground color should be white. Okay, so let me show that again. I'm going to double click here onto the foreground and background color. Get into the color picker. Select white. Okay. Now click onto the background color. And again, select the yellow that we have over here. And you need to select one that's almost pretty much to the edge here. Okay, so there we go, yellow, okay. Now go over to the gradient tool and at the application bar at the top, select again the first gradient that you get here. So it's basically foreground into background. Okay, select that, hold shift on the keyboard so you're making a nice straight gradient. And I'm basically going to drag this over like so. Great, so it's white over here going slowly into yellow. Again, let's do that one more time. Okay, opposite. I want to have it a bit softer, like so. Great. Press Command. Wait, let's do it one more time. Okay, because I can see here's a bit of a mistake at the top. But now again, select it, press Command D, get out of the selection. Now, again, create a mask. B for the brush. And literally, its opacity, it's slow. Let's just switch the foreground colors back to black. And we're slowly brushing in here our degrade. I'm also going to make my brush really big and choose around 4 on the keyboard for 40% opacity. And now slowly just brushing over here just so that the yellow bleeds a little bit better into our gradient. Great, so that we've got that. And then on top now we have again our white layer here. All right, the white layer is also switched to around 60% opacity. That is it for just creating the background, but we still need some dots also in the background. So again, underneath the white layer here, select the last layer 1, which is again the gradient, and create a new layer once again. Now I'm going to go back to the toolbar and select elliptical marking tool. And now I'm basically just going to make a few round selections here around my canvas. Let's zoom in and actually a bit more so you guys can actually see it a bit bigger on the screen. M for the marking tool, and I'm literally going to make a circle here. Also hold shift on the keyboard so it's equally expanding. And now I'm just continuing this process throughout. I'm still holding shift so you get into the add mode and adding again another round selection. So I'm basically adding random round circles here. Okay, and we're just going to add a few. Okay, let's do this one again, like so. And you can obviously do it wherever you want, however big you want this, random as possible. Okay, let's make a small one over here, another small one over here. Make another, medium-sized big one over here, another one over here. And a few more. Okay, like so. Maybe we should create another one over here, smaller one. Then I'm going to add another small one over here. Okay, that is not round. So via holding shift, you are in the add mode, plus also, again, if you hold shift, it equally expands as well. So now it adds, press again shift and drag on, and it directly goes into equally expanding. All right, I'm randomly adding a few more now. You guys can obviously take a bit more time when you do this. So yeah. Okay, and one last one. Great, so on this layer now we have a few round selections. Now, inside of the selection, hit right click and go all the way back to fill. So under fill, it's going to ask what type of color you want to add. Go to color and obviously pick a color now. So I want to pick pretty much something that is similar to the shirt color here. Let's go a little bit over. I'm looking for a bit of a darker blue. It's all very bright. Let's have a look over here. And over here, we're getting a bit more bluer colors. Great. So I'm going to go for this color. You guys can also get the value down here. I'm going to hit OK and OK as well. And we have done. So now basically we have added dots to the background. Again, press Command D, get out of the selection and zoom out a little bit. So I also zoom out sometimes just to get a feel of the cover. So I directly see that these dots are a bit too prominent. But maybe if I'm now going to add some text, I can again on this layer erase some or create a mask and erase some again. This is totally up to you. You can obviously create a few more layers and play a bit more with these round balls in the background. Okay, so that's it. Let's basically now head over right away to adding the text. So for this, again, I'm going to select the text tool, make a nice big selection over here, And this is obviously for our pro tutorial, the cover that's going on our Facebook page at Rita Pro. So I want to add the proper text that goes with this pro tutorial. So what I'll do is write, first of all, Foxy. Okay, that basically means it's obviously called Foxy Hipster, the pro tutorial. So right away, we need to select the right font for this. Let's go all the way up to the top, because I've recently worked with this, and in Photoshop CC, I've noticed that the recent fonts are sampled and aligned here at the top, which is really nice. Okay, so it's called Intro Inlined Regular. You guys can also find that down below in the description again. I'm going to make it nice and big, like so, around, let's go with like 80 pixels for now. As well, the color, let's select that. And right away, the color I will select here from the hair color, so that these colors again match a little bit the actual cover. So let's select something here a bit darker, maybe, if it's possible. Great, like so. Again, here are the values down below. I'm gonna hit OK and accept that. Now, instead of going ahead and creating another selection, I'll just duplicate this with Command J. Okay, drag that all the way down and just select it again and write Hipster. Okay, so the name is Hipster, Foxy Hipster. Great, selects the whole text again, and I will go over and select the color. And again, this time I'll choose the same background color as we had before. Great, like so. I'm gonna hit OK, and as well make this maybe slightly smaller, around 70. Have a look. Okay, accept it and move that over. And right away, what I can see already is that my gradient here in the background, again, first of all, the dots here are taking a lot of attention. Let's create quickly a mask on that. Also B for the brush again. I will also, with the black foreground color, just desaturate a little bit here, those dots. So remember, my brush is still on 40% opacity. So just degrading them a little bit more. Okay, and I can also extend here again with Command T, my gradient. So moving that a bit over so you guys can see now it becomes more and more white here in the foreground. Okay, so this is obviously a bit of a playing thing. Take a bit more time when you do this. I'm quite rushing this. Okay, also, yep, the mask here. Just take the mask again, maybe 00 on the keyboard. Okay, so black foreground color, and we are basically just erasing again a little bit. So this you have to play and suit until it fits with your image. Now, let's also take Foxy Hipster and again hold Command on the keyboard. Take this Hipster text layer and you'll just space it up a little bit. Okay. And again, press T on the keyboard and make another big selection here. Now, the next text will be something like a little slogan, like it's available now on the website. So I'm going to write here, available. Available now at www.retouchpro.com. Okay, so all of this still needs to get a new font and a different color. First of all, I'm going to take the text size and just move it all the way down so it fits into the selection. And let's also select the whole text. I will select a new color for this. Let's go like with a bit of a darker grayish color, not completely dark. Okay. And as well change also the font. So let's go back up to our fonts. I'm going to go all the way up to the top and most probably going to work again with Helvetica Neue Thin. Again, you guys can also find that down below in the description. Great, so that is selected and written out. Okay, select everything and again, make this also one more smaller, maybe around, yeah, I would say 19 pixels. Let's go for 19 and hit enter there. Okay, also the tracking is set to 0. Maybe later I'll add the tracking up a little bit more. So for me, this is a bit subconscious now. It's a little bit slogan that just stands underneath the big main text and header. Okay, let's also press Command J. Take this layer again, move it all the way down, press T on the keyboard, select the text tool and select the whole text. And I right away want to also let the price stand out. So I'm going to say a $sign here. And this pro tutorial is currently selling for $19.99. Okay. So select all of that. I'm going to make it nice and big. Okay, because this is obviously your selling point again. So make it nice and big as well. So something around 60 pixels. And I'm going to accept it. And first of all, leave it to thin as well. Maybe I'll change it later to bold or something so it stands out. But for now, I'm just going to leave it to $19.99. Again, I will select with the text tool, just available now at the website. Press Command J, duplicate this once more. So I don't need to always go in and with the text tool create another new text layer. I'll basically do this once again. Again, Command J. So we now have a few more layers of this. So again, as you guys can see on the right hand side in the layers palette, we have now 3 of these layers. So first of all, select the text tool, select the whole text over here, and I will rename this to Pro Tutorial. This is obviously because it's this is what our Pro Tutorials, all our packages are called Pro Tutorials. So again, right away we have that, but the tracking is a bit off here. It looks a bit tight. So I'll go over to the character box here and just take the tracking and slide that a little bit apart so it can just stand out a bit more. Also, if you don't have the character box, please go to Window and select the character box over here. Great, so Pro Tutorial it is. I will also write it in the same font, that's why we duplicated it, but I will this time change it to bold, so it stands out even more. And now I can see that my tracking is too far, so I'll just take it down a little bit again, something like a -20. Okay, accept that, take it up a little bit, and that fits again. And now for the last text again, select the text tool, select the last text, select the whole text, and I'm just going to repeat again something like the title, or again something small, maybe bonus materials included, or an extra lesson, something that stands out as well. For me now, I'm just going to write Foxy Hipster once more again. Hipster Pro Tutorial. Great, select all of it again, and this time the tracking just up a little bit so it stands out a bit and easy to read. Okay, accept it. Again with the cursors, just select the move tool. I will basically move this up a little bit and start my scaling. Okay, select again available now at Retouch Pro, and also scale, take this down a bit until I'm happy. Let's also zoom out a little bit. And if this is on a cover, it stands out right away already. The title, then again, where is it available? What's the price? What people want to know right away. And what type of product this is. And the title again. Okay, last step again. Foxy Hipster, all the text. Select Shift on the keyboard and basically select all the layers. Press Command G, put it together in a group. You can maybe move it over still a slightly bit. Move it into the right direction. And then as well, the rest here, white. And all your layers again, Command G, and we're going to write here also background. Great. And then the first part here is still text. And now, obviously, that's a quick run through. How did I create this cover? And yeah, you can obviously refine this still a little bit more with pushing the text maybe over, using this white area here, maybe a little bit back, like so, or even making your background here a little bit bigger to let everything stand out a bit more, like I'm currently doing with, again, Command T, scaling. And then maybe I would even on this mask work a little bit more so that these bubbles shine through a little bit more. So yeah, basically that's it, guys. Again, a super easy technique how to do this. And yeah, if you have nothing to do and if you're interested in the Foxy Hipster Pro tutorial, maybe have a look on our website at retouchpro.com. It currently launched and it's a great tutorial to learn retouching. Okay guys, again, super easy to create this Facebook cover in Photoshop. Again, as you guys can see, also there's a few elements that you can still change or do a different type of background. But again, remember to add some text on top because obviously it's a bit of space to place some advertisement. Guys, so that's basically it. And if you're like me and just can't get enough of Photoshop design, then click on your screen right now to subscribe. We send out free Photoshop design tutorials every single week. And don't forget, we love to stay in touch, so leave your feedback down below in the comment section or send us your tutorial request right away to tutorials@retouchpro.com. Thanks again guys for watching, I'll catch you all in the next tutorial. And you are still here, so that basically means you are interested in our Foxy Hipster Pro tutorial. Yeah, then have a look down below, there's a link directly to the website. You can also have a look here on the right hand side of some more tutorials, all bundled just for you. Yeah, if you want to see some more design stuff, have a look, here are some more great stuff. So yeah, thanks again guys for watching, I'll catch you all in the next tutorial.